Today, the Vyas Puja day of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We have gathered together to share our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada with one another. The first Vyas Puja celebration of Srila Prabhupada I attended was 1972. Srila Prabhupada was personally present. He was sitting on a wonderful Vyasasana on top of a mountain. Hundreds of devotees from all over America, many from different parts of the world, were gathered. Many of the senior-most leaders of the International Society for Krishna Conscious were present. Vishnujana Swami Maharaj sang Guru Puja. Several of our senior-most leaders spoke, and Srila Prabhupada gave a historical address. At that time, our senior-most leaders, at the most, they were devotees about 5 years. Others just 4 years, 3 years. They were very senior. Those who joined in 1968 were just devotees for 3 or 4 years. And today, second generation, Shri Radha Gopinath Temple. Most of the realizations we've heard are devotees who have been practicing Krishna consciousness, dedicated to Srila Prabhupada's mission with their body, minds, words, and lives for well over 30 years. It is a very special event. One of the first disciples of Srila Prabhupada, in fact, he was initiated in the very first initiation ceremony in New York City, was Hayagriva Prabhu. He wrote a book entitled The Hare Krishna Explosion. It was published around 1985. It was just almost around the time that Radha Gopinath Temple began. But he's sharing how he has seen the growth of Srila Prabhupada's movement. From the time when Srila Prabhupada in 1966 had just gotten that little storefront of 26 Second Avenue. And twice a week he had classes. He met Srila Prabhupada just walking down the street. After some time, a few people became serious about following this message. For those of you who have been the Lower East Side of New York, especially then, it was extremely run down. Between where Srila Prabhupada was residing and the storefront was a little courtyard. One day, Hayagriva shares. Srila Prabhupada was sitting on a bench in that courtyard. One of his followers, he asked, Srila Prabhupada, do you ever think of returning to Vrindavan? Srila Prabhupada replied, I am always hankering to return to Vrindavan. But I am here to share this message with all of you, because that was the order of my spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But wherever we are speaking this message, wherever we are hearing this message, we are in Vrindavan. I am never feeling that I have left Vrindavan. That was Srila Prabhupada's mood. He was hankering to be in Vrindavan, but he was always feeling Vrindavan and serving the order of his spiritual master. That is the legacy he has given all of us. Service and separation. When Srila Prabhupada came to the West, his Guru Maharaj had already departed decades before. And as has been explained so eloquently by many of you, it was seen as an impossibility to fulfill Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's dream. To bring Krishna consciousness to the West of the great scholars, the Paramhamsa Vaishnavas, who are Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's followers. No one even attempted it after the Guru Maharaj had departed from this world. Sitting on that little bench in the Lower East Side of New York, Srila Prabhupada was seeing Vrindavan. He was teaching us how to see Vrindavan. He explained that if he were to compromise the pure teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he may be very, very popular. But one moon was more important than many, many stars. And all Srila Prabhupada's followers at that time, they all expressed silently within their hearts, we want to be that moon. That was their great longing. I want to be that moon just to please you, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada went on to explain how Krishna is so merciful. Through the process of bhakti, he is giving himself. Prabhupada used the word cheaply. The highest realizations of pure devotional service. If we just follow carefully this path of bhakti, Krishna is giving himself very easily. And the devotees at that time, and I'm sure many of us today, are thinking, it doesn't seem so cheap, nor does it seem so easy. But nobody could say anything. But Srila Prabhupada could read our hearts. And he explained that when there is a full moon, it's always shining. But sometimes there's dark clouds that cover it. And in the presence of those clouds, we doubt that the moon even exists because we just cannot see it. But if we just go on practicing Krishna consciousness, as Srila Prabhupada taught us, Prabhupada said, and gradually, by the mercy of Krishna, by the winds of his grace, those clouds will move. They will disappear. He said, the clouds of the influence of Kali Yuga. And the full moon of Krishna's grace, the full moon of Krishna's presence, the full moon of love for Krishna, we will understand has always been there. Surrender means enthusiasm and patience. Srila Prabhupada, in giving us Krishna consciousness, never ever lost hope. Strokes, as Dwarkadish Prabhu explained, heart attacks, and so many other things, poverty, setbacks, betrayals. He never lost hope. He always thought, if I could only make one person a devotee, that will be the success of my mission, and my Guru Maharaj will be pleased with me. As Srila Prabhupada never lost hope in giving Krishna consciousness, we should never lose hope in receiving it. Because we are receiving it from such an exalted personality, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The moon of Lord Chaitanya's mercy is shining through his teachings, shining through the hearts of the devotees who are trying to love and serve him. Clouds are there. It's Kali Yuga. But we should never give up hope. Love for Krishna is being given to us. Krishna is there for us. We can't make the clouds go away. But if we're enthusiastic to follow the message Srila Prabhupada and Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya has given us, it's just a matter of time till those clouds are clear. Kali Yuga is a very cloudy time. But that doesn't change the truth. His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj is writing a book now about Srila Prabhupada's pastime of establishing Krishna consciousness in Mumbai. Specifically, the development of Radhanath Bihari Temple. Mr. Sethi, very wonderful friend of Srila Prabhupada. He was not an initiated disciple, but Srila Prabhupada inspired him so much. He wanted to serve. He was a builder, so he dovetailed his propensity by helping to build the project of the complex of Radhanath Bihari Temple. Srila Prabhupada told him that because you're building this Because you're providing the space for Radha Ras Bihari, they are providing you a space in Vaikuntha. And devotees were living very simple in those days. Everything was still under construction. And Srila Prabhupada was inviting Mr. Sethi to come and live with the devotees. After some years, on the top floor, the devotees built wonderful quarters for Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada came there and saw it, he invited Mr. Sethi. And he showed him, you see, there's marble floors, and it's so spacious, and there's every convenience, and there's carved wood. He said, since you need more comfort to live here, you take these rooms. He said, please, you come and you live in these rooms. Mr. Sethi said, but where will you live? Srila Prabhupada said, I have so many places to live. But you will be comfortable here. And he meant it. That was Srila Prabhupada. How he was trying to encourage, facilitate for everyone to be Krishna conscious. How he was trying to accommodate and facilitate everyone to assist in this great mission of his Guru Maharaj. How is it that he could ask devotees to do such difficult things? Because Srila Prabhupada, he saw that this was the mission of his Guru Maharaj. This was the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if we simply remain dedicated to receiving this message of chanting the holy names, following these regulative principles, remaining united and helping to spread this Krishna consciousness movement on his behalf, on behalf of his Guru Maharaj, then all the clouds of this age of Kali that are causing so much difficulty in our lives, they will all evaporate. Srila Prabhupada named his international headquarters the Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. Lord Chaitanya is that full moon. He has arisen in this age of Kali, the Benedictine mood. Today, Vyas Puja, we offer our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. By appreciating how to be grateful to one another. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness was Srila Prabhupada's primary contribution to the world. It was the foundational basis for all of his books, for all of his temples, for all of his projects, and all of his devotees. Society means a collective effort. We are all dependent on mercy, and that mercy is there, especially through Sankirtan, of sharing with one another, hearing, chanting, serving. Let our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada be with our hearts and through our determined actions to follow strictly as possible, to remain united and to spread this Benedictine moon to others. Thank you very much.